Hey everybody, my name is Russ. That is Lauren. Welcome to our Thursday music discussion video. And I am doing one that I haven't done in quite a while, continuing our What's So Great About series. Today focusing in on Guns N' Roses, because if you are a big Guns N' Roses fan, then you have a long list of things that you love about the band. If you are not a Guns N' Roses fan, you have a very short list of things you've ever liked about them and you really wish they'd go away. So I am talking to both longtime GNR fans here and people who are like, why do you like this band?
Yep.
You're a casual GNR fan at the absolute best, but I think that you would still agree with all the points that I have lined up.
Oh, no, I've seen your points and I agree with them.
First of all, they came out swinging with what I feel is the greatest rock debut of all time. I'm sure everybody has their own opinions. But for me, Appetite for Destruction, I don't think you could even, I don't think there's a discussion. I think the only thing that you could even entertain close to it is maybe Van Halen 1, as far as like rock debut goes.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, Appetite was huge. It's inescapable. And I can't think of a lot of rock debut albums that were that inescapable.
And I'm going to circle back to this on the second point, but on Appetite for Alone, it's not just a, well, first of all, it's not just a rock album. You have stuff like almost punk in You're Crazy on there. And then of course, big ballad like Sweet Child of Mine. But songs that like really stretch out. I don't know anybody that would have had a hit with like a 7-minute rock song off their first record, like Paradise City, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how they got away with that.
And even songs like Jungle, there's nothing on this record that was like cliche. There's a reason why these songs have stood the test of time, you know, and it's the first thing they came flying out with. And that relates to the second thing in some ways. There's so much diversity in what Guns N' Roses has put out, even on that first record for sure. But then you look, the next thing they followed that up with was a 4-song acoustic EP, right? And there's only one reworking of one song. Everything else is new on there. But then when you get into stuff like Use Your Illusion and November Rain, you know, here's this huge, clearly Elton John inspired piano ballad orchestrated epic, you know. And on that same record is things, whether you like it or not, things like My World, which is like a rap rock type song. You have the epitome of Southern rock with something like Civil War.
I like that one.
Cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door. Great cover of Live and Let Die. You know, and that's all on just those two records. That's before you worry about all of the incredible diversity that's on Chinese Democracy, like all within one record. So there's so much more to the band than Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, Patience. Like it's an incredibly diverse amount of material for a band that I'm going to get into a couple other points about this. In their early years, they put out so much material so fast, which is crazy ironic for a band who hasn't released anything in forever. But now when I was a kid, the wait from Appetite to Use Your Illusion seemed like an eternity. But Appetite for Destruction came out in late 1987, and Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 came out on the same day in 1991. And GNR Lives was released in the middle. So in 87, you have 12 songs that they come out swinging with. In 88, you get a reissue of a live EP that none of us knew. It was new to us. You know, anyone who says they had that album before Appetite is lying to you. And then you had four new acoustic tracks. So there's 8 more tracks you got a year later. And then 89, there was nothing. 90, there was nothing. And then in September of 91, you get 30 tracks between Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. That's an insane amount of material for a band to put out over 4 years. And it's so ironic that eventually they would, like I say, become almost known for never putting stuff out, right?
Yeah.
But right there at the top to put out, I don't know of another band that put out 3 albums in 1 EP in 4 years and had them be as high quality as everything is in else, you know? So for me, that might be a time and a place thing. Like if you didn't grow up with GNR, you might not be like, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal. But for those of us that were there when the wait was finally over for Use Your Illusion to get 30 songs and by and large have all of us like all of them, was very, very, very rare. This next part kind of has to do with the fact that if like after 91, they just kind of stopped doing new things. They were able to maintain public interest the whole time. Like everyone wanted GNR to get back together, or Slash to be doing something new, or what's Axl up to, or, oh, I heard Duff is putting out another solo thing. Like everyone cared from 1991 all the way. And Chinese Democracy finally came out in 2008. But in the meantime, like Gilby Clarke put out solo stuff, Duff put out solo stuff, Slash put out a couple solo records, they put out Velvet Revolver. And all through those things, people were always interested in what Guns N' Roses was going to do. And I can't think, one of the things like that, like kills artists, like, and I mean, physically kills artists, is that pressure to keep up. Mm-hmm. And, Elvis, one of the most famous entertainers, most popular entertainers of all time, as soon as the Beatles hit, was constantly told, oh, if you're not always doing something, they're going to forget you. Mm-hmm. GNR puts out their last new material in 1991, doesn't do anything forever, and the whole world still cares. Like,
yeah,
there's something there.
There's absolutely something there. And like, this is not even a parallel, but it's something similar-ish, I guess, is right. Like, just to throw it over to one of my guys, like Billy Joel put out River of Dreams, and then he hasn't put out an album since, right? But
the only difference I'll say, and I know it's not a band per se, but Billy would regularly tour.
Yeah.
Where Axl didn't bother touring under the GNR name again after 91 until 02. And that tour got like 8 dates in and got canceled. But let me say this though, Billy wouldn't have been able to tour if people didn't care.
Right. That was kind of what I'm getting at. Is like, I think the point that I was sort of trying to make is that like, it's really interesting what kind of artists don't need to have any output in order to still generate interest. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I just think that's interesting.
I totally agree. And for me, and I have a lot of positive things to say about nearly everybody who's ever played in Guns N' Roses. But I'm an Axl Rose guy. Even from the first time I heard Guns N' Roses, it's probably one of the most divisive voices in rock and roll. And I say that with Geddy Lee being alive. People, when you hear Axl Rose sing, you either go, please stop doing that. Or you go, I would like to hear more of that right now. And by that, I mean his vocal range, from the low stuff on Mr. Brownstone to the screeching highs.
Yeah. I like parts of it.
Yeah, you do. What's interesting is I think you just recently told me you like the material on Lies the most,
I do.
And vocally, Axl does everything on those. And in many ways, a lot of those songs are close to what's on Use Your Illusion, but you like the style, like the acoustic style and the way they're done on there better. But, for all the stuff you can hear about Axl Rose, that he was late every night of the Use Your Illusion tour. He's the guy that broke up the band. He's the guy that showed up on the VMAs in 02 and like wasn't exactly prepared. He's the guy that took forever to make Chinese Democracy. He's also one of the greatest frontmen to ever hold a microphone. Mm-hmm. He also was pushed into unbelievable world celebrity that no one watching this video would have handled well. And the people making the video included. He was the one that pushed for all of that diversity. They very much could have just made Appetite 5 times in a row and didn't. And those records might have been great too, but that's not what I want for my artist. Mm-hmm. Even the stuff where like, as soon as he showed up with like, he was like bone thin and he had the, what GNR fans call the Predator braids, like where they were like super long and stuff. Yeah. Like people were talking about it and he was being his own dude. Like he didn't look like anybody else looked at that time. Like he just was like, no, this is me. And whether you like it or not isn't the judge of it. It's, as far as celebrity goes, it's whether people are talking about it or not. Mm-hmm. The whole no press is bad press. And the guy just was being himself and to this day still is being himself. Mm-hmm. He's walking around with the most dad haircut ever in the history of the world, and he's fronting stadiums with GNR.
Dad haircut and mom jeans doing it.
Yeah, I know for sure, mom jeans. Yeah, like Bon Jovi fan in 2002, mom jeans. And I say no to that as an insult.
No, because it doesn't matter.
You do you, man. Yeah. I just think he is the thing that makes he's like the thing that separates them from being a good bluesy rock band into being an iconic thing. So that's, for me, he's up there with what makes Guns N' Roses so great. Axl Rose for sure.
Totally get it.
We love making this series. It's not just for bands. Like in the future, I plan to do a video on like what makes Use Your Illusion specifically great and so on. I believe I've already done one about Chinese democracy. But if you're here for the GNR content, search the channel because we got a whole bunch of GNR content on here. We just recently started doing Guns N' Roses reactions at the request of the audience. People seem to love that. So if you hit the subscribe button, we have 3 videos that come out every single week. And we already have a bunch of GNR content on the channel. So by all means, please check that out. That is Lauren. That is Belladonna. My name is Russ. As we always say, thank you so much for watching.